Rear Admiral Dong Dingye, thank you so much for joining us on CNN Philippines and welcome to Manila.
Thank you.
This is your first official visit to the Philippines. What do you hope to achieve during your visit here?
This is my first visit, but this is not the first visit of ALPACI, my functions. So I want to continue what my predecessors did, and I want to achieve a progression in cooperation with the Philippines.
And this is indeed a special trip that you have made. This is the only trip in Asia from France to the Philippines, and then you head back to your base. How are you planning to strengthen relations, defense and military relations between France and the Philippines?
We are trying to do more and more military cooperation. So far, we have interactions with the Navy and the Coast Guard, and we have interactions with the military patrol aircraft. But we, in the future, look for working with the Air Forces and maybe with the Marine Forces or the Armed Forces through the exercise that are organized here by the Philippines Armed Forces.
Will your visit here even make that cooperation between the two countries even stronger compared to your predecessors?
I want to, and I have the feeling that my counterparts in the Philippines want to. We can do more on exchange on information, I think, and that this is something we can work on. We have also an exchange program of officers, and we'll continue with that, and we will try to propose more on that also. Maybe we will come further on more participation to the training and exercise in Philippines, but also we hope that the Philippines Army will take part in the exercise that we organize in French Polynesia and New Caledonia on each year for disaster relief training together.
You are the French Joint Commander of the Asia Pacific and the French Armed Forces. With your presence here in the Philippines, will France invest more in the region for regional security?
You can see that already. The forces stationed in French Polynesia and New Caledonia are, of course, working for the protection of our overseas territories, but they are also patrolling and navigating in further area like South China Sea and North China Sea. But if you look at what's going on and what's going here from France, you see more and more assets and high-end assets like Lorraine, which is in port visit in Manila today, coming from France and having missions in this area. This makes a difference in terms of capacity and in terms of presence. And if you look at 2023 and maybe in 2024 and 2025 also, you will see a difference from what happens in the past year. We have been involved through those assets coming from France in the area more than in the past.
So is France, Rear Admiral, increasing its assets here in the region because of the growing threats, particularly from China?
I mean, Asia is now the center of the world. So we need to take that into account. The prosperity of the world and the prosperity of Europe and the prosperity of France is linked directly to the peace and security in that region. And of course, we get involved in that.
And of course, France, together with many other Asian nations, are huge trading partners with each other. So it is, of course, right to have a bigger and wider presence here in the region.
Yes. There's something else at stake here. It is a place where we need to support, if not defend, the rule of law, and especially the law of the sea. And this, we need to do it in cooperation, and we need that everybody do it together.
Rear Admiral, what are the big risks and threats right now in the Asia-Pacific region?
I think what I said is a big threat. I mean, the disconstruction of the rule-based order and freedom of navigation will be a big, big threat to all. I mean, peace, prosperity will be in case in the case that we see the construction of the rule-based order.
How proactive right now are French ships in patrolling the Asia-Pacific waters? How many ships do you have at the moment in the region?
We have 6 ships in the region permanently at the moment, plus Lorraine. We have 15 aircraft, and we have 2 regiments stationed in the New Caledonia and French Polynesia. So we have a very strong military presence, 3,000, and we are the only European Union country to do so. And this is a very unique commitment to the region from a European perspective.
How is France helping the Philippines, particularly its Navy and the Coast Guard, in protecting the very sensitive waters of the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea from threats from mainland China?
France has a special organization. I am in charge both of military aspects, but also civilian aspects, with a whole administration, French administration working at sea. And the Navy has the ability to do some police works. So this is something in which we can work both with the Navy, both with the Coast Guard, being able to help them in capacity building, in training, and working all together to help build up a better security, maritime security in the region.
Rear Admiral, France and the Philippines have been talking about a submarine deal. What is the current status of that right now?
Well, I'm not the proper man to answer to that. What I can say is that a submarine force is something very interesting when you want to put pressure to another country. There's a dissymmetry in that force. I mean, let's give an example. If you want to follow what's going on with one submarine at sea, you'll need at least 10 ships to follow it. So it concentrated the force of the competitors. So I think that is something that could reverse the disymmetry of forces from a country that could not afford a huge navy in a single time.
We've seen over the past year, since President Bongbong Marcos became president, increased military exercises between the United States and the Philippines, with Japan and Australia. Are we also going to see increased and more military exercises between France and the Philippines?
From my point of view, what I see is that the exercise that were also bilateral before are now multilateral, and so that gives us the opportunity to participate to those exercises. And we have been participating to Sama exercise, to Balakatan exercise, and we will do in the future and do it more.
And can we see more cooperation between both countries, with France providing more military hardware to the Philippine Armed Forces?
Well, if the opportunity occurs, we would be very happy to help, of course. We have a strong technology, strong energy on that stuff, and we also, from the military side, have a strong operational experience to manage them and to use them in the real way.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word on CNN Philippines, Rear Admiral Dong Dinyei.